After exploring the ship, we watched the world go by from our balcony and spent the rest of the afternoon relaxing in the cabin. Monday night was formal night, and as we did every night at around 6:30, we headed to the Dragon's Lair for our free drinks, the result of being Diamond members, frequent cruisers with Royal Caribbean. At 7:30, we headed to Deck 11, the Portofino restaurant, for another magnificent meal, followed by the Casino Royale before we turned in for the evening. Tuesday, November 17th, 2009, was a magnificent sunny day with a high of about 80. It was Cabo San Lucas Day. We arrived in Cabo San Lucas at approximately 9:30 a.m. Rosie and I were on the second tender from the ship to Cabo San Lucas, and we arrived in Cabo at approximately 10 o'clock. Rosie and I signed up for the premier yacht experience so we could see how the rich and famous spend their time in Cabo San Lucas aboard an 86-foot luxury yacht. We sat back and relaxed on this very exclusive tour of the Cabo coastline with sightseeing, snorkeling, open bar, and as we would soon find out, much more. Rosie and I had perfect seats for our sightseeing tour, 50 feet above the water with the captain. And as we started our tour, we went by famous hotels and homes. But wait, there was more. There were whales.
You want to touch it?
There.
No.
No. Come up.
Look at that, look at that. Where are you going to have these guys? Come on. Hold on.
After 10 minutes of sightseeing and over 2 hours of whale sightseeing, we headed to our snorkel site for a 45-minute snorkel, followed by a magnificent lunch. After 3.5 hours, we headed back into the Cabo Harbor. Our time spent on the Gladiator had been everything that had been expected of a premier yacht experience, and more. We saw whales. After a great shore excursion, it was time to relax. And at 6 o'clock, on schedule, the Mariner of the Seas departed from the Cabo San Lucas harbor. about 6:30, Rosie and I had our evening drink in the Dragon's Lair, followed by another wonderful meal in Portofino. Wednesday, November 18th, 2009. We arrive at Mazatlan, Mexico at 8 a.m. Today will be mostly sunny with a high of 87 degrees. An exciting mixture of old and new Mexico, Mazatlan has been blessed with a harbor of natural beauty. The neighboring mountain ranges rise as a majestic backdrop for this scenic city. As Mexico's first major resort community, Mazatlan owes its continued popularity to vast, unspoiled beaches and friendly people. While we were in Mazatlan, the crew conducted a lifeboat safety drill and lowered all of the lifeboats on the starboard or right side of the ship into the water for a test run, and then brought them back to the ship and raised them back into their berths. From the ship, it's about a 1-mile walk to Old Town Mazatlan, but you'll need a cab to get to the Gold Zone shopping, as that is 4 to 5 miles from the pier. Rosie and I chose to stay at the pier shops and had a couple of drinks at one of the local cantinas. Rosie and I spent the afternoon on our balcony and watched the ships in the harbor. At 5:00 p.m., the Sapphire Princess, with the use of its side thrusters, pushed itself out into the harbor for departure. At 5:30 p.m., the captain of the Mariner of the Seas, using side thrusters, pushed the Mariner away from the pier. Then, using all 4 side thrusters, spun the ship 180 degrees, and we headed out of port. At about 6:30, it was our usual routine. Free drinks in the Dragon's Lair, dinner at Chops, and gambling in the Casino Royale before we took a trip up the glass-enclosed elevator.
Stop line.